It's a pleasure being here today. This is a special place because my bride, Patricia Michaela Siobhan Riley, went to school here one summer, and when we went on our honeymoon, one of our favorite photos is on a bench out here. So Sarah, who works with me at the State Department, knows wherever I go in the world, I take photos of where my wife and I took photos, but it's a long story. But it's an honor to be here. Thanks, Vinny Cahill and Tony Byrne for hosting us today. And Carrie Ann is a great partner in traveling around and talking to all the people we've talked to today. And I really want to highlight Maura O'Neill. Everybody does have an Irish name on our delegation. Name, we have to change yours. But Maura just waved, because Maura is the Innovation Officer at U.S. Agency for International Development and really has changed the way we look at how to do business in the aid world. And Ireland, that's going to be a theme of what we're talking about. Ireland has been a key player with us in trying to make these changes. It's not easy to make the changes, as you know. You know, we're here because Secretary Clinton asked us on one of our favorite days at the State Department, St. Patrick's Day, to bring an innovation delegation. And we have all of our members here who you'll meet at the reception. And Nate Hurst, actually from HP, is helping sponsor our reception at the end. So we want to thank HP on that. You know, I've worked for the Clintons for 18 years. I say sometimes that no one else will hire me. It's probably true, but in those 18 years, I think, you know, I've been to Ireland once every 2 years at least with them, because they are very committed to the ideal and the model that Ireland poses to the world, and I'll get into that in a bit. But I want to talk a little bit about, you know, the Global Partnership Initiative, which Secretary Clinton created. You know, the Clintons are great to work for because not only are they big thinkers, but what differentiates them from other leaders, I think, is that they're big doers. They're big thinkers and big doers. And I think that's a message to all of us. You know, we live in a global economy. We saw that the last few years here in the United States, and we've realized that no one sector, no one government, no one company, not even the Gates Foundation, can solve these problems in the world. So we have to collaborate. We have to bring people together. So the Secretary was very revolutionary and said when we arrived, we're actually going to create a part of the State Department that uses a simple power that everybody in this room has, the power to convene, the power to bring people together. You don't have to be the Secretary of State or the President of the United States or the Taoiseach of Ireland. Everyone here has the power to convene. And this building, architecturally, is great because it has this power to convene. So we created an office around the power to convene, and we started with, you know, 5 people, and we have 25 people now. And our office is the Global Partnership Initiative, and we bring people together around 21st century diplomacy. And my friend here, I see, who's doing a paper from Ireland on 21st century diplomacy, so I've got to stick to my rules because you probably know more about it than I do. But, you know, we want to bring the powers of the world together to try to solve problems. And we decided that we weren't going to get into bureaucratic fights. We were a new office, and Maura and I would commiserate about this many times. We only wanted to go where there was a vacuum. There are enough problems in the world. Let's try to figure out problems. So we have 4 flagships that I'd like to cover with you today on things that we're doing. And the first one is grabbing this issue of shared value. If you have not taken a look at the Harvard Business Review, really take a look at their article on shared value. And Michael Porter, thank you, Maura. Michael Porter wrote this wonderful piece, and it's trying to find, and what I've learned in this, I wish I knew everything on the day I started that I know today. But I would be really nice. I'd go out and I'd try to get all these partners, and I'd try to lure them in for all these reasons. But it took a lot of time. I think there's a bottom line. You got to go in and say, this is your shared value. This is why you should get into this. I mean, we should all learn this. We have to develop new processes and professionalize this partnership business. This is not kumbaya, we are the world. We really need to create a professional partnership degree almost to try to figure out what a partnership personality is to try to solve these huge problems that we're facing. So the first issue we came up, and Nate's been very involved in this at HP, who, by the way, has 4,000 employees here in Ireland, right? 4,000. We created something called AMP, accelerating market-driven partnerships. And we're starting in Brazil, and I think after today we may start here too, because I think we're already doing it. Trying to create mechanisms where the public and private sector can come together to find their shared value, to find their joint effort to work together to create solutions. And in Brazil, we're looking at sharing value. We want to do sustainable housing and e-waste recycling, but there's money to be made. There are businesses that will go and they will actually go down and invest their time and effort to do it. Walmart in Brazil gives free health care, has free minute clinics in their Sao Paulo stores. Why do they do it? They do it because they want to do well by their customer, but they also know that their customers are going to come in and get their free flu shot and buy something else in the store. GE sells lighting in the favelas in Rio de Janeiro. And why do they do it? And why do they brag about it? They'll show you two photos, one photo of a darkened favela with old lighting and one with GE lighting, or it could be Philips lighting or anything else. But the ones with the GE lighting happen to be safer because you can take photographs of people who are committing crimes and put them away. So these are things where you can do good and do well, and that's what we're trying to do with our impact investing effort. We have another project called the Partners for a New Beginning, by tackling the challenge of youth unemployment in the Middle East, North Africa, and Asia, by promoting science and technology exchanges, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Mukhtar Kent, the president of, or the CEO of Coca-Cola, will say, I want to create employment in North Africa. I need 4,000 people to keep my Cokes cool in their coolers. I need engineers to run around and technicians to make sure that they're doing that. Now, is he doing that because he wants to create a stable North Africa, or is he doing it because he wants to make sure that his product is distributed? So we're very excited about that. As Carrie Ann knows, and is very active on this, is our Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves. It'd be hard for you to believe that half the world cooks on open fires every day. Every day, people are going out, women mostly, and children, are going out and strapping 30 to 40 pounds of wood on their back, and they're traveling out, and they're going farther and farther from their homes, and they're bringing wood back. It's taking them between 4 and 8 hours a day. Talk about empowerment of women. Imagine if you took that away from them and what they could do. They could educate their kids. They could do other things in their life. But we saw this problem. We saw that it gave 20% of the black carbon in the world. We saw that it killed 3 million women and children. That's twice as much as malaria or tuberculosis. Nobody knew about it. We went into the secretary and said, this is a problem. We thought we needed 20 minutes to talk her into creating an initiative around it. I think it took us 45 seconds. She said, I know what you're talking about. When I was first lady, I'd go to these villages. I couldn't understand how people could breathe in their rooms, in their kitchens. And women and children, the mothers think that they are providing nutrition for their children, but they don't know they're killing their kids by breathing this in. So what did we do? We created a Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves. And I'm happy to say that Ireland is one of our first members on this. And we brought business and government together to create a market-driven approach to this, a standard, an economic standard. In the United States, we have Energy Star program, where you don't buy an appliance without knowing that it's got an Energy Star label on it. You know it's not going to kill you. You know it's going to be safe. It's going to be efficient. Well, poor people around the world, poor women around the world deserve this too. And so we're creating this market-driven standard so that the market can go in and sell this. The World Food Program gives out hundreds of thousands of these stoves a year. They don't know what's working and what's not. So we've created this Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stove, 39 countries, 400 partners. We have a temporary standard already in a year. We've raised about $160 million. We have Julia Roberts as our global ambassador. We have Dow Corning giving us $5 million, Shell Oil giving us $5 million because they care about this, but they also want to create new markets in Asia and Africa. And we have Morgan Stanley's involved too because they're interested in carbon credits. So find the shared value to solve these problems. And we're very excited about that. And the last project I'd like to talk about is our Diaspora Project, which was born in Ireland. This project was born in Ireland. We walked into the State Department with the secretary, and I think within 2 weeks she said, We used the Irish American diaspora to help come up with the Good Friday agreements. We used the Irish American diaspora to work for years to create this stability. Why are we not doing this in Ghana, Nigeria, the Philippines, Peru, the rest of the world? So we went out and we created, and with MORA and USAID, we created a International Diaspora Engagement Alliance, which has the clever name of IDEA, in case you didn't catch that. But look it up on our website. And this, we're bringing together in our country the 61 million first and second generation Americans, people who came from someplace else, to bring them together to collaborate, to help solve their problems back home, to be innovative in our country. The other statistic I like to throw out, we have $90 billion in our country sent in remittances, checks that people send, these 70 million people send back home. That's 4 times more than our foreign aid in our country. So it's hard to believe that it took us this long to figure out we have this huge amount of money to be helping people. Why don't we aggregate some of this money and create a job training program? You know, El Salvador gets $3.5 billion from our country from remittances. Imagine if you took 10% of it to create a healthcare program, a new insurance program, or a vocational ed program. This could have a long-term impact on what we're doing. And I have to say, Ireland is one of the 4 I's. There are 4 I countries in the world that are able to help other countries. And they came to our Global Diaspora Forum last year. It's the second one we did. And it's Israel, India, Ireland, and Italy. And the Irish have a special, because they have a special day when their diaspora aggregates, actually St. Patrick's Day, so it's very easy. But we brought them together to teach the Bangladeshis and the Peruvians and the Ghanaians and others, the South Africans, how to organize, because really the Irish American community is very well organized and has been very, very powerful in helping us do this.